Well, the left is going to green extremes to convince you of their climate hysteria. Eco-protesters ruining more priceless works of art with superglue this weekend. And a CNN columnist thinks Americans should throw out their air conditioners to save the planet. I don't think we'll be trying that with temperatures reaching 100 degrees, but it's Al Gore who is sucking up the most oxygen with this most ridiculous comparison.
The climate deniers are really in some ways similar to all of those almost 400 law enforcement officers in Uvalde, Texas, who were waiting outside an unlocked door while the children were being massacred. They heard the screams, they heard the gunshots, and nobody stepped forward.
Greg, your response to the hypocrite of the climate change
maybe
movement.
all those massages he got went to his head.
That was good.
He's so profoundly disgusting, and not for what he just said, but just for the original offense is mapping climate denier off Holocaust denier. So already, when they started doing this business a couple of years ago, they were comparing skeptics, skeptics, to Nazis. So comparing them to the police who weren't able to save those kids, that's actually a step up. So it's like every time he says Holocaust denier, I want to punch him in the face because it is so deeply offensive, because we know what he's doing. We know the undercurrent. What he's trying to do is he's trying to link you to Holocaust denial. He's just the scummiest thing.
Judge, you're wearing green. Do you have a comment about the green movement?
Oh, wow.
I can talk about my dress. You know what? As I was watching him, I mean, isn't he the guy that created the internet?
Yeah.
Isn't that the same?
Allegedly. He should stay off of it, though.
Yeah. You know, a guy like that who wants to talk about, you know, the world is coming to an end, I say to myself, he has such a pulpit. He could really make a difference if you want to talk about guns and you want to talk about crimes and victims. He really could say something. I mean, I'm sick and tired of the left talking about the climate problem and we're all going to be dead in 6 or 7 years. AOC gave us 12 years. I think we're now down to 7 years. You know, why don't you tell each other to stop creating all these problems? They don't want me to eat beef because they don't like that the cows have gas. They want me to eat pork. I don't like pork. I had pigs.
I love pork.
I'm not gonna. Okay, pulled pork maybe, but you know. But then you know, and don't tell me I can't have an air conditioner because people in Europe don't have an air conditioner. Don't tell me how to live. I don't want to listen to you. You got an issue? Take care of it yourself. I mean, stop imposing it on all of us. That's what the left does. They want to tell us how to live, what to eat, what to spend our money on, when to mask, when to stay in, and they violate every rule in the book.
So, Jessica, I mean, there are ways to have a debate or a conversation about skepticism or the environment, but if you're going to compare people who want to follow the science on the environment and climate change and maybe don't have this big government solution to it to police officers in Uvalde who allowed children to be murdered, doesn't that turn off a big segment of the population or everybody on an issue that Al Gore claims is essential to the future of the planet?
Well, it turned off the majority of the table. I did a double take when I saw it because it's just conflating two issues that have no business being intermingled, right? And I was thrilled that we did have such consensus around what happened in Uvalde. I did not see anyone in a pro-gun position or whatever defending what the police officers did. It was just universal. That was an incredible dereliction of duty, what went on. But on the flip side, what's going on with the climate is a very big deal. It's very important. And Al Gore has been on the forefront of evangelizing the importance of taking this seriously and making small changes to big changes in your life to ensure that we have a greener planet or that we have a planet for longer.
But hasn't Al Gore done none of that? I mean, he lives in a house that, you know, he lives in a massive house.
I don't know anything about his house. People in positions of power are often hypocrites about these things, and they love to be in their private jets, and they love to go and open the Cannes Film Festival with their, you know, climate change is going to get us all movie or whatever it is. But the reaction to when he says something like this, which is necessary in terms of pushing back on the comparison to Uvalde or any, you know, Holocaust denialism, et cetera, but we need more people in positions of power on the right, on the Republican side, to stand up and say climate change is real, man is contributing to this, and we need to take actionable steps. A majority of Americans want the federal government to do more.
So, Jesse, you know, the solutions from people like Al Gore to get rid of things like fertilizer and air conditioner, which have enabled humankind to survive, like people will die as a result of a lot of these proposals.
Yeah, he's just a climate shock jock who says outrageous things for money and attention. And I'm not going to give it to him. He's been wrong about everything: the polar bears, the Arctic ice cap, pretty much everything. The sea levels rising 10 feet, that never happened. I can see why, though, people think the sea levels are rising. I have a theory. It's more of a conspiracy theory. You know the cosmetics industry a few years back, how they said everyone was going to die from the sun unless you buy their expensive creams and SPF lotions? That's not what's really happening. So everyone thinks they're going to die from the sun now. So usually the pale people in the family would bring an umbrella to the beach, and that only takes up a small circumference. Now you see these tents at the beach with these tent poles. They're so big you could host like a wedding reception underneath them. But not everybody sits under the tent. They haul their Bahama mama chairs out there, and they put them out like that and surround the tent with them. And they need equipment for the hauling of the Bahama Mamas or whatever they're called, Tommy Bahamas. So they have like the one dad in the family like bring like one of those beach carts, and that takes up space. And so no one can read anymore, no one can swim either. So they had to bring games. Now they bring cornhole and spike ball, and that like adds to the real estate, right?
Yes.
And then also, they were so worried about dehydration, so they have to bring so much water and juices and Gatorade. They bring these Yeti coolers.
Right.
You can fit a shark into these things. So you get to the beach, and like one family takes up like 100 yards of beach. And so it's not, the beach is not shrinking, the sea levels aren't rising. It's just there's big tents now on the beach.
Okay. All right.
People are still getting skin cancer.
Yeah, and sunburning their eyeballs, apparently.
Today there was a car driving on the beach.
Oh, man.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.